Now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. Mayor Jim Cason was first elected mayor of the city of Coral Gables on April 12, 2011. He was elected again with 71% of the vote in April 2013 and was re-elected for a third term in April 2015. He is a retired U.S. Foreign Service officer with more than 45 years of national and international public service, including extensive experience in Latin America as a leader of multi-agency embassy communities. He is fluent in 5 languages. Mayor Cason has had 10 years of higher education at several of the nation's most prestigious institutions, studying international affairs and economics. He is a Fulbright Scholar and a graduate of Dartmouth College, Johns Hopkins University, and the National War College. Mayor Cason's foreign service posts include U.S. Ambassador to Paraguay, Chief of Mission, U.S. Interest Section in Havana, Cuba, Deputy Chief of Mission, U.S. Embassies in Honduras and Jamaica, Political Advisor to the Commander of NATO's Supreme Allied Command, Atlantic, Director of Regional Affairs, U.S. State Department, Bureau of Western Hemisphere. Mayor Cason served in the U.S. embassies in Portugal, Italy, El Salvador, Panama, Uruguay, Bolivia, and Venezuela. Please give a warm Coral Gables Chamber welcome to our good friend, Mayor Jim Cason. And I'd like to invite our President and CEO, Mark Trowbridge, to the dais at this time. Mark?
I wanted to take advantage, before I talk about the state of our union here in Coral Gables, I wanted to make a special presentation to Mark Trowbridge. Mark and I, for the last 5.5 years, have been working together to promote small business in Coral Gables, which is responsible for about half of our city's income. And it allows us to continue to lower millage rates because we have such a vibrant downtown. And we've probably cut 300 ribbons at least for small businesses, and done other things like going to Curitiba for the famous spider bite, where we tried to encourage Curitiba to become a sister city. Mark has also been a very steady advisor, responsible advisor to the city on so many things. For example, when we tried to get Uber into our city, our efforts to ban styrofoam, our look at plastic bags. Mark's been very, very supportive of the city, giving us great advice. You heard earlier about the annual, when we have elections, you're always there to make sure that we have a very good debate and that the chamber's neutral. We appreciate that. And finally, you have been such a great master of ceremony at so many events involving the city, including our annual meeting where we recognize the employees of the month. You're always very funny, very apt. So I'm taking this opportunity to present you the key to the city of Coral Gables. Nobody more deserves it than Mark Trowbridge.
Thank you all very much. Please, thank you. Listen, this is the mayor's moment, but I'll just say 2 quick things. I came to our chamber a little more than 10 years ago with just great hope and just tremendous opportunity. And from day one, the city was so welcoming to me and also so welcoming to what our chamber wanted to do and accomplish. And at that time, our wonderful city manager was running our economic development department, and so we worked very closely then as we do now. And then secondly is I can't think of a better place to come to work every day than Coral Gables. The people, the energy, the great beauty that surrounds us both in business and in personality. So thank you all very much, and on to the mayor. Thank you very much.
Well, as you heard, on April 15, 2011, I was sworn in as mayor of Coral Gables. It's been an honor to serve as your mayor for the past 5.5 years. I could not have done this job without the help of my fellow members of the City Commission. Today, I want to recognize Vice Mayor Frank Quesada, Commissioner Pat Keon, Commissioner Vince Lago, and Commissioner Jeanette Slesnik. Thank you all for working so hard with me to make this a better community. As new mayor back in 2011, I dreamed of making Coral Gables a more prosperous city. I hope you agree with me that the city of Coral Gables today is a much better city than it was 5 years ago. My third term as mayor of Coral Gables will end in April of next year, and I will not seek another term as mayor, which makes this my last State of the City address. So I better make it a good one. The fact that 5.5 years have been the greatest experience of my career, I hope you will remember me as someone who cared deeply about Coral Gables and someone who contributed to the progress we've made so far. But this is not the time to say for sad goodbyes. This is a morning to celebrate what we've accomplished together. So let's take a stroll down memory lane and remember a few of the reasons why the last 5.5 years have been very special to me. Please take a look at the screen.
Once upon a time, more than 90 years ago, the story of the city of Coral Gables began with a dream of a perfect place where beauty is always king. George Merrick's vision of a Mediterranean oasis with tree-lined boulevards and enchanting residential neighborhoods has never changed with the passing of time. You could see it back in the 1920s, and it's even more evident today. Decade after decade, our city leaders held on to this city beautiful dream to build a strong foundation and continue to elevate our quality of life. Let's take a look back at what we've accomplished in the last 5 years. In 2011, the Great Recession negatively impacted our families, and our government was not exempt. Like many other cities around the nation, the city of Coral Gables had to deal with declining revenues and reduced property taxes. So, we tightened our belt and improved internal efficiencies. To do that, the City Commission prioritized pension reform and revamped collective bargaining agreements that were unsustainable. Good financial order was the first step to accomplishing great things. In 2011, the City Commission decreased the millage rate to 5.869 and decreased it again to 5.669 in 2012, to 5.629 in 2013, to 5.589 in 2014, and to 5.559 in 2015. Today, Coral Gables continues to have the second lowest millage rate among Miami-Dade County's full-service municipalities. Since 2011, Coral Gables has been very proactive with the management of its debt portfolio to take advantage of historically low interest rates, to refinance existing debt for savings, and convert variable interest rate debt to fixed interest rates. The city was successful on both fronts, and today, Coral Gables is back on top financially, regaining its AAA bond ratings from both Standard & Poor's and Moody's. While bouncing back from the recession, the general fund reserves reached $12 million in 2012, $21 million by 2013, $29 million by 2014, and to nearly $37.5 million by 2015. Our reserves today equal 25% of the city's operating budget. By the end of 2015, Coral Gables became a city of 51,227 residents. Providing the best public safety to keep all of us safe is never an easy task. Although one crime is too many, and a crime rate of true zero is impossible for any municipality to achieve, crime reports in Coral Gables have shown a steady decrease since 2011. In 2015, our city experienced a 15% reduction in crime compared to the previous year, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement's Uniform Crime Report. Much of this success is the result of community involvement, as well as initiatives implemented by the city's public safety team, like a crime intelligence center, license plate readers, neighborhood team policing, CCTV cameras, and new legislation introduced to enhance public safety. Speaking of innovative legislation, the City of Coral Gables is not shy about introducing new laws to serve you better. We now have an anti-squatters ordinance, a false claims ordinance, a quick connect alarm program ordinance, an abandoned property ordinance, an unlawful vehicle entry ordinance, the expanded victim assistance program resolution, and the subpoena ordinance for prosecutions. Guided by the personal experience of our city attorney Craig Lean, the City Commission this year adopted a resolution declaring principles of inclusion for individuals with autism and other special needs. Our city is committed, at all levels of government, to look for ways to accommodate and serve individuals with disabilities and special needs. They say that trees are the Earth's endless effort to speak to the listening heaven. And in Coral Gables, trees are so important that we use GPS technology to locate each and every one of our 38,000 trees in our 14 square mile territory. 5 years ago, we planted many large trees that are still beautifying our streets today. Some 60 beautiful palm trees were planted on the median on Ponce de Leon Boulevard, from Almeria Avenue to Salamanca Avenue. Another 300 oak trees were planted in the swale and median of Segovia Street. 120 palm trees are now in the median on Alhambra Circle, from Lejeune Road to Ponce de Leon Boulevard. These landscaping enhancements continue to beautify our streets and neighborhoods. In 2012, University of Miami students and faculty had a much more pleasant drive on Ponce de Leon Boulevard before arriving to school. The city planted more than 350 palms to restore the beauty and character of Coral Gables. After 10 months of renovation, the beautification of Ingram Park was unveiled in 2014. This passive park now features enhanced landscaping, paths for walking and jogging, exercise stations, rustic trellises, and a beautiful fountain inspired by those from the Alhambra and Granada, Spain. The city's tree succession program began last year to replace 3,000 trees that needed some TLC. Entire neighborhoods are welcoming these new trees to provide shade, character, and beauty to our Tree City, USA. Coral Gables partnered with Fairchild Tropical Botanic Garden for the Million Orchid Project to reintroduce native orchids to our city trees. This summer, thousands of native orchid seedlings were planted on Coral Gables city trees, with many more to come. In 1 to 3 years, these orchid seedlings will begin flowering, making our city trees even more vibrant. 2011, the Neighborhood Renaissance Program became a fully funded 5-year plan of about 17 projects for the beautification of our streets, intersections, historic entrances, and fountains. Starting in 2012, the city began repaving a total of 55 lane miles of streets in Coral Gables, completing all repaving of streets north and south of US 1 in just 2 years. Segovia Street was narrowed from 4 to 2 lanes, with new bike lanes from Bird Road to Biltmore Way. The Ponce de Leon beautification project was completed, with landscaped medians built from Salamanca to 8th Street. The Lejeune Road median beautification project was also completed. We've built 12 medians, installed irrigation, concrete and ground cover, providing a great welcome to people coming to visit or do business in Coral Gables. The city invested $2 million to restore uneven or broken sidewalks at no cost to property owners on a one-time catch-up basis. This fiscal year alone, we have replaced 4.7 miles of damaged sidewalks, and we have extended 1.4 miles of sidewalks with plans to continue this work in future years. Approximately $1.6 million is being funded for the restoration of our historic plazas and entrances, including the Granada Plaza and entrance, Balboa Plaza, Segovia Plaza, Commercial Entrance, Ponce de Leon Plaza, and Columbus Plaza. In 2012, the city of Coral Gables brought back the very popular 4th of July fireworks at the Biltmore Hotel. The 4th of July celebration in Coral Gables is not only a day when we celebrate the independence of our country, it is also a day when the city of Coral Gables shines together. Our public officials, along with corporate partnerships, neighbors with their families and friends, all unite on the 4th of July to remember the true meaning of our blessings, privilege, and freedom. This year, the city of Coral Gables received the Sister Cities International Humanitarian Assistance Award in recognition of the outstanding work done by the city to help save lives by donating the only hook and ladder truck existing in La Antigua, Guatemala, one of our sister cities. The large fire truck was transported from Homestead Air Reserve Base to Guatemala aboard a military cargo jet, thanks to the Denton Program, a Department of Defense transportation initiative that moves humanitarian cargo. A second fire truck from Coral Gables to La Antigua was also donated this year. An extrication instructional video, produced by Coral Gables Television, was also provided to La Antigua to help them prepare for emergency rescues. After more than 35 years of discussing the revamping of downtown Coral Gables, the Miracle Mile and Giralda Streetscape project was given the green light in 2015. The $20 million project is being made possible with the collaboration of the Business Improvement District, along with the property owners who are helping finance the project, the Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce, and other civic partners. When completed, Miracle Mile and Giralda Avenue will be transformed into an inviting, pedestrian-friendly oasis that we can all be proud of. Last year, the city purchased 2 lots of approximately 10,000 square feet on Lisbon Street to protect Sherman's Oaks, 2 beautiful specimen oak trees. This area will now be transformed into a desirable green space for the benefit of the public. This year, the citizens of Coral Gables also became the proud owners of 5 new properties purchased by the city to enhance the neighborhood's quality of life. These properties are on 807 Catalonia Avenue, 241 Sardo Avenue, 937 Mallorca Avenue, 6540 Marlin Drive, and 1047 Venetia Avenue. The original studio of H. George Fink, considered to be one of the best examples of Mediterranean Revival-style architecture, was also purchased by the city this February. The building was designed in 1925 by Fink, who was one of the city's earliest and most prolific architects, and cousin of city founder George Merrick. This building was in danger of being gutted by a prospective buyer before the city swooped in and came to its rescue. In the past 5 years, Coral Gables made changes to become a more sustainable, responsible, and greener city. Mayor Jim Cason led the national discussion of sea level rise and how it would affect us in Coral Gables.
And we've responded by trying to start a community dialogue on why all of this is happening, what sea level rise is going to mean for our community, which is only 4 feet above sea level.
He met this year with administrators from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, with senior officials from FEMA and the Army Corps of Engineers, raising the challenges the city of Coral Gables faces with coastal flooding and sea level rise. Our mayor also attended the annual Southeast Florida Regional Climate Change Summit, which brought together experts from around the region and the world to discuss climate change and sea level rise. To bring awareness to this issue, he also discussed the topic on National Public Radio and other media.
When I saw it, I said, wow, this is, of of all the issues we're discussing, how come no one is taking this on, even if there's no solutions now, but at least we need to know what our risks are and our vulnerabilities.
Mindful of the fact that sea level rise is projected to be a growing threat, Coral Gables developed a sea level vulnerability map and prepared a white paper outlining a variety of options to adapt to the rising seas. Following the lead of Commissioner Vince Lago, Coral Gables devoted its focus on policies and services that invest in energy, water, and waste efficiency. Among the sustainability projects we are proud to list are a Sustainability Master Plan, Property Assessed Clean Energy Financing Program, Solar Energy, Green Building, Electric Vehicles and Charging Stations programs, an expanded polystyrene ban, and intensive community outreach to protect our environment. In Coral Gables, 15% of our population are senior adults, aged 65 years and older. A milestone was celebrated this year with the opening of the new Adult Activities Center. Classes and activities previously offered at the War Memorial Youth Center are now available on the ground floor of 2 Andalusia Avenue, across from the Palace, Coral Gables. This new 9,700 square foot facility is the new dedicated home for all programs designed for our active senior adults. People of all ages in Coral Gables come together every year for a special cause. Just a few weeks ago, following the leadership of Commissioner Jeanette Slesnick, the Relay for Life raised more than $70,000 for cancer research and awareness, making this event the highest grossing race/walk in Miami-Dade County. Thanks to the leadership of Commissioner Pat Keon and Vice Mayor Frank Casada, the city's relationship with our school partners flourished in recent years. The entire commission worked hard to address the controlled choice issue that existed in Coral Gables public schools. After many community meetings and public input, the school board ended controlled choice last year, establishing attendance boundaries for Coral Gables Preparatory Academy, G.W. Carver Elementary, and Sunset Elementary. In the last 5 years, the city of Coral Gables has achieved many milestones to be proud of. In 2011, Coral Gables was named one of the top 6 most beautiful towns in America by Rand McNally and USA Today. Coral Gables was recognized with a 2013 LivCom Award, the world's competition for local communities that focuses on environmental management. We were given the Silver Award for being one of the most livable cities in the world. In 2014, Coral Gables was selected as one of the 10 most exciting places in Florida, according to Movado Real Estate Online. Every year from 2011 until 2016, Coral Gables has been selected as a Playful City USA community by Kaboom for bringing play back into children's lives. This year, the city of Coral Gables received 7 Telly Awards for its production of high-quality, top-rated television shows, the work of our own Coral Gables Television. Last year, Coral Gables celebrated its 90th anniversary, closing the year-round festivities with a special concert at the bottom of the Venetian pool.
Today marks our closing ceremony of a year-long celebration of the 90th anniversary of the City Beautiful. Throughout these 90 years, our city has expanded and evolved, but we have never lost sight of our history or the significance of George Merrick's original plan.
That original vision from 1925 is still very much alive today as we continue to honor the city's past and work toward an even brighter future. From financial stability, to reduction in crime, to innovative legislation, to beautiful trees and streets, to new projects, properties, and partnerships, Coral Gables is a city moving in the right direction. Building up from the strong foundation of its origins in 1925, Coral Gables is today, without a doubt, a beautiful, livable, playful, and exciting place we are fortunate to call home. To many, Coral Gables is a world-class city with a hometown feel. How lucky are we to call it ours? This is Coral Gables, my home.
I want to thank Coral Gables Television and our public relations staff for putting that together. Seeing is believing, and I thought it would be great this year to focus on the visuals of what we've done over the past 5.5 years. Well, to conclude, as a U.S. Foreign Service officer, I traveled the world and I've lived in 12 countries. When it came time to retire from my career as a diplomat, my wife Carmen and I chose this city, Coral Gables, to live for the rest of our lives. We could have lived anywhere in the world, but Coral Gables was the gem we were looking for, and it still is today. It's been my privilege to be your mayor for the past 5.5 years. Thank you, all of you, for your support, for your ideas, and for your ongoing love for this world-class city. Thank you.